difficulties.
Yes.
But we're into the stream now with Mike. So without further ado,
But first of all, we'll just check. Mike can hear us.
I sure can. Yeah, I'm all good.
Okay, so starting the episode off, I'm Harry.
and I'm Richard,
And this is Mike Owen. So there you go. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. H-Nitro Racing.
Yeah.
Welcome to the H-Nitro Racing Show, and we have a special guest, none other than Mike Owen himself from New Zealand, where we're from, and he's kindly decided to come along onto this live stream with us, and we appreciate you very much. Yes, just say a little bit about yourself there, Mike, and all the amazing things that you do, which is a lot. So it's cool.
Hey, thanks, guys. Look, so Mike Owen, you can find me on YouTube, Mike Owen NZ or What the Prop. I've been into, I guess, creating animatronics, droids, and other kind of robotics for, it's only been about 5 years. So it started out actually during COVID time. So you're working from home. I had a 3D printer. I had time. And one of the catches with 3D printing is when you're printing stuff, like it takes a while. It might be a couple of hours and then you take it off. You put the next one on. But when you're working at your desk, I could just easily reach over and just chuck the next one on and keep things going. And that kind of got me into the early phases of trying to build out kind of the first lot of props. And then we've kind of transitioned from building props and things that are like from the movies that are like back in the day into robotics and then into droids. So a real mix of different things. There's a bit of a Star Wars theme, but it's not all Star Wars. There's definitely a few different things over the different years, but a lot of it kind of stems back from a passion towards Disneyland, Disney parks. So I'm a huge Disney fan. I love going to the parks. I love the immersive feel and the crate.
I know you were there not that long ago, Mike.
Yeah, that's correct. We were there, it would have been July. We try and get to the parks at least once a year, which sounds crazy, but it's just something I really kind of enjoy seeing, kind of that immersive creativity. And they have, I guess the people that work on the design side are referred to as Imagineers. And some of the stuff they come up with is crazy, incredible stuff. So love seeing it, love following along.
Cheers, man. Thanks so much for joining the stream. If you're joining now, thanks, Gabe and Tobias. Cheers, brothers. And hello. Yes. So like we were just saying, this is Mike, and you've just been at Disneyland. It's they say it's not quite like Rainbow's End, right?
No, it's a little bit different than Rainbow's End. Like Rainbow's End's got its own unique features and stuff, but yeah, Disneyland and the Universal parks and things like that are definitely next level. If you ever get the opportunity, I would totally recommend it.
So the people that are watching, we actually did a snippet together, didn't we, on our channel?
Yeah.
A little bit. When was it? It was in the
couple of months ago.
Maybe 3 months ago. You can go back and check it out, and it's you're explaining about BB-8 in the little clip. It was one. It was one we were at Creality Share Fest, I think it is.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like to see BB-8 up front and close. I mean, there was a lot of detail, a lot of definition in the Star Wars icon.
Should we go check out some of them?
Why not?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
go for a walk.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though, isn't it? It's very cool what you're doing, dude, and big fans.
So looks like we've got R2D2 and C-3PO there.
So we'll start with. So this BB-8.
He's so cool. He's huge too, right? Quite large.
He is. He's full size. So I'd say probably just over maybe about 1 meter high in size.
Yeah.
It is a full animatronic one. I haven't had it rolling in a little while. It's always a bit sketchy depending on the surface. So things like carpet's not so bad, but if you've got like a tiled floor, when it rolls, often they can kind of catch on the grooves on it, and then its head starts to stutter.
Yeah. But I mean, the definition on that alone, it's all 3D printed, correct, from memory?
Yeah, it's all 3D printed. So lots and lots of sanding. So like one of the catches when you're doing your 3D printing, you get like layer lines across it. Like obviously you can get your I guess the thickness down smaller and smaller, and that improves it. But ultimately you get to a point where you got to sand it and then put like Bondo or like a spray putty over it. And I could be doing 3 or 4 layers of spray putty, then sand, another 3 or 4 layers of spray putty, sand, and then kind of going kind of 200 grit, 400 grit, 800 grit, 1500, 2000, 3000, and then paint to try and get to a point where you can't really see the lines too much. And then you don't really notice it's 3D printed, but the 3D printing stuff's very, very cool these days.
What printer did you use on BB-8?
BB-8 was on a Elegoo Neptune 3 Plus. That was one of the original ones I had. These days I kind of flip between, I've now kind of grown to 3 printers. I don't need any more at this stage, but I've got the Elegoo, I've got a Creality K1C, which it's just fast enough, and it's a bit small. In the build plate area, that's probably my gripe. I'd like the K2 kind of thing, or one of the bamboo ones, but we'll go with the K2. But it's just great to have right next to my desk to do the prototype, build it, find out whether or not it's going to fit, modify it if I need to, and then kind of move on to the next one. And then I've got a resin printer as well. So sometimes you need the really ultra fine detail, and then I'll do that on the resin printer.
Because that's something that we haven't done, the resin. We have to dive into that sometime. It's pretty cool stuff, though, ain't we?
It's cool. It stinks is probably the thing. It's really, really messy. Like one of the call outs I'd say with when you're dealing with resin, you want to be in a really well ventilated area. You don't really want it in a closed room. You basically wash it in isopropyl alcohol, and it just reeks. And you don't want to get it on your skin because your skin will just break out in a rash from it. So it's a bit toxic to be kind of dealing with. But once it's cured and once it's working, it's brilliant. It really does give you the much better detail than just the standard FDM printing.
Nice.
But I mean, you can definitely tell even on that the droid there. But I mean, all your creations are great. I mean, you can see you can see the weathering and the painting is done exceptional craftsmanship. So top notch there, because people go, oh, what's weathering? Weathering's like the thing that makes it come to life.
That's right. It's the movie quality finish. Yeah, because nothing's perfect. Like it's not just like, say for example, you just had your orange there. It's not just straight orange. There's a little bit of black in there. There's a bit of, like, it looks a little dirty.
It's all you're gonna try and make it look like it's been put out in the dirt and the wind and the rust. Like on this is DJ Rex. This is actually from based off one of the ones in the parks. So you want it to look really like rusty, and so you end up using lots of different colors and try and create textures. So I've got one that I'm currently building. It's still well and truly early days. So this one isn't finished. I'll come over here. So this is Wally.
Wally. Wow, look at that.
But it's for part of the texture. So this isn't finished. This is far from finished. I've got a base coat on, and then this is coffee grounds. So I'm putting coffee grounds with glue on it, and then you spray paint back over the top of it, and that gives you the texture of kind of like a rusty panel. And then you go back over with it, and you try your browns, your kind of your reds and your yellows from a rust color, and then you darken up with black and airbrush things as well.
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell the quality there. Yeah, it's great to see there. Like it's cool,
and it takes time obviously to get that kind of level of detail as well.
It does. Like between the different ones, BB-8 would have taken, I think it was like 3 or 4 months, but that was 3 or 4 months of every weekend, probably most nights, kind of doing sanding, printing, painting. And then the animatronic piece in the center that's just a beast in itself. But other ones are kind of more 6 months, 9 months duration. So they're not short projects, and that's not 9 months and you're not really doing much for like 2 or 3 months in it. It's every weekend you're doing something. You'd probably be putting in at least kind of 8 to 20 hours a week, just to keep the thing going.
Yeah, and what about like parts like I don't know, just say BB-8 as an example. People might want to know, like, where do you get your parts?
Because it's not like a store, like a BB-8 store. It doesn't exist.
There is not a BB-8 store. So quite a few of these, in terms of things like the files and the STL files, there's places that you can download a lot of those. In some cases, it doesn't exist, so I've had to build my own. So I built Eva from the Wall-E movie. That was one that I completely designed from scratch. Other ones you can kind of download it, but then you kind of get into the robotic pieces and the electronics. AliExpress, definitely one of the ones, my go-to. There is pretty much a stream of maybe half a dozen to a dozen packages every week that seem to roll into my house of things like screws and different parts or servos or whatever. And then local hobby shops as well. So the spray like paints, brushes, some of the kind of radio controlled plane parts, a lot of that kind of gets used, and also radio controlled car gears and things like that for like servo savers and all the linkages and even the suspension components that you can rip out of those. So I'll grab it from anywhere that sells it and anywhere it's relatively cheap. There's plenty that will come from the States, but it's just so expensive to get stuff sent over from the US.
Yeah, the shipping, yeah.
And we better do the T's and C's. For the people out there watching the live stream, where can they find you there, Mike? Because you got a YouTube channel, don't you?
As well as Facebook.
Yeah, YouTube is probably that's my main channel itself, which is Mike Owen NZ. Or you can search for What the Prop. In terms of Facebook, I'm in quite a few different groups. Probably the main ones I'm active in would be the Wally Builder one currently. There's a Wally Builders forum as well. There's also a colleague that, not a colleague, but a friend from you've already met before, John. He's also building one. So there's the two of us in New Zealand are currently building a Wally at the same time. So we're, as much as we can, helping each other out. There's plenty to go. It's a bit of a beast of a project. Other Facebook groups would be there's a DJ Rex group. There's yeah, there we go. There's John.
Hey, John.
Yeah. I haven't solved the neck problem yet, John.
Yeah, but yeah, there's lots of groups out there, and make sure you go back and after the stream, go jump on Mike's channel. He's got lots and lots of projects. So absolutely, What the Prop, Mike Owen NZ. Check it out.
Absolutely. It's more, Tom says it's more fun building together. Absolutely. We would agree with that.
It totally is.
But yes, I guess we both build together. I suppose.
They count.
Yeah.
You get a different perspective on how you solve it, because these things are like there's no complete pattern on how to do it. Like there's like a bit of a skeleton framework on what to do, and then you have to fill in all the blanks and gaps. And it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle where there's pieces missing, and you have to figure out what you're going to do to fill in the gaps for it. So when you've got two different minds or more to kind of look at it, then you can always kind of take the best out of each of those ideas and turn it into something very cool.
Yeah, agreed, totally.
Yeah, and you want to also put your spin on it too. You don't want to do what I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always something you want to do. You kind of want to make yours a little bit unique in some way, shape, or form. So you always put your own little spin on something. Doesn't have to be much, but there'll be something about yours that will be your way of knowing. It's like a fingerprint. So each one will be unique in some way, shape, or form.
And Craig agrees with you about the groups for two more. Head's better than one. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What was some of the other droids that we saw in the room there, Mike?
Let's go back. So next one, this is DJ Rex. So DJ Rex, his visor, unfortunately, he's not quite right. I have to redo it. I had a bit of a malfunction or the part failing last weekend, so I was rapidly trying to redo it again this morning. We got most of the way there, but she's not perfect.
Technically, that's authentic. Droids are breaking down notoriously all the time.
Absolutely. He even has a few movements which are around the fact that he breaks down. So it's perfectly in match. DJ Rex is from, there's two different places you'll see the DJ Rex or the series of the model that he's from. One is in a ride called Star Tours. in Disneyland, Disney World. And the second one is a place called Ogre's Cantina, which is a bar again within the Star Wars land at the Disney parks. And he basically sits up in his DJ booth, plays his music, and bops his head along and talks. So I thought I'd build one of my own.
It's pretty cool.
This is the one I got turned on at least, so I can kind of give you a few ideas of what he does.
Oh wow!
I just had the craziest dream. There was a star speeder pilot, and I blew up a Death Star. Weird. Welcome aboard. This is the DJ station. Make sure you have your drinks secured and your seats in the upright and rock positions, because we are about to hit some turbulence.
Wow!
And he does music and all sorts of things as well. So he'd be good for the cons and so forth. So one day I'll get him out.
Nice. Yeah, it looks rather big there, Mike.
Yeah, he's quite big. He would be about a meter, about 1.4 meters high. Takes up a lot of space. Not easy to transport that one.
No.
And he sits on top of a subwoofer. So all around him. So those are all speakers in there, and then I've built a sub that's underneath there for the sound. So he can crank out some sounds, and he's got like a car amplifier in the back, so he can go quite loud.
Well, he's a DJ, right? So that makes sense.
He is, exactly right.
Very, very talented. Very cool.
Yeah, you can see all the lights on it. Oh, yeah. Most people would know this guy. That's definitely for sure.
C3PO.
So this is C3PO. Had a bit of an accident with C3PO as well a few weeks back, so we're still repairing him. I had some parts that basically connect the legs down to the ankles, and I'd made them out of 3D printed, and it was suggested that they be made out of aluminum or aluminium, depending on which country you're from. And unfortunately, I thought I'd take a cheap, easy way and go with 3D printing, and it lasted probably 4 months, and then it failed, and then the whole thing just fell over on its side and then broke all sorts of bits. So there's a few bits to repair, but he is back up and at least upright. There's a few little bits like his shoulders broken and a few of the greebles and so forth are a little bit damaged, but otherwise he's okay. He's got a bit of battle tear on his head now as well, but I think that'll just add to the add to weathering, right?
Yeah, weathering. It's authentic weathering.
Yep. And then you've got to have his hand back again at some point too. So that won't take long to put that one back together again. That's just another weekend job.
We got that one. The hand.
Yep.
That's very cool. He stands pretty big, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's human.
He does. He'd be about 1.8, somewhere around there. So about me, I'd be there. Somewhere around there.
And
so he's tall.
Does he stand out through his feet? He stands up and moves around that way, or how would he normally play and whatnot?
So there's basically there's a spar that comes up the leg on both sides. There's one servo just kind of below the groin area around here that moves the hips side to side. There's another servo that rotates the waist part. There's another 2 servos that rotate the body forward and back. Then the shoulders will rotate, the arms will rotate, the hands will turn, and the neck will move in all axes as well. So it can pretty much do all of that. And again, it's got sound as well. It's got lights that kind of go around the base. And then I've just got it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It runs on, like, for those that are into the electronic side, it's got 5 ESP32s running it. So it takes a little bit of compute to try and get everything to move together and do it smoothly.
I bet.
But it's pretty cool.
Oh, I'd imagine.
It's badass. It's what it is.
I did see a little clip on your channel. He was showing him working, he was moving and stuff. So
so make sure you go and check it out over on his channel. It does the light. The lights come up in his eyes and his head moves, right?
It does, sure does. Yep. So there's you won't be able to see it. I have to turn it on, but there's 3 little lights in the eyes. Everything moves.
Nice.
R2 is a work in progress. That one's one I started a long time ago, printed the first part, and haven't kind of got back into it, and I feel real guilty. And one day I'll finish it. Maybe not today.
It's cool.
I was tempted at one point to get like a little beer fridge and then put that inside it and turn it into a beer fridge with an R2 dome on top. So that may still be a happening thing.
Yeah, and this was one that you just completed, wasn't it?
Just made this the other day while I was waiting for some parts to print. So this was inspired by a rubbish bin, funnily enough. So at the Disneyland parks, there was a rubbish bin with one of these BD-1 droids sitting on top with a little sign saying, put your rubbish in the recycling thing. So I thought I'd turn that into my own little version. So made my own one, put my own little sign, and bit the droids.
It's very much the part.
Did you make him on resin or a normal like FDM?
So this one's a mix. So to give you an idea of which bits would be resin, inside the leg here, you see it's really detailed. That was all done in resin. The main body is just FDM printing. The feet are also resin. There's quite anywhere you start getting to really fine detail. Even on the headpiece here, that one was done in resin as well. So the downsides of resin is obviously the messiness it is of actually like making and curing it and dealing with it. But it's also heavy is the other one. So it can start adding a lot of weight to your thing. So if you want to move it around and you've got servos moving it, you don't want too much weight on the body or in the head. So you try and do that. This one's not animatronic, it's just a static one.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It's pretty cool.
And then down this way, this one's very much a work in progress. This is going to take a long time, and probably most people don't know this one quite so well. This is called a BDX droid. Again, it's another one that walks around the parks in Disneyland. I can try and kind of give you a view of what it would be like.
Because they walk around a bit like like a walking chicken, don't they?
So the head basically moves. It's got little antennas on the side, and it's got two legs.
Bipedal, right?
That walk. So yeah, it's bipedal. So basically, it stands on its two legs and walks around. This one has so much more to do. It is so much harder than the other ones I deal with because it uses, like most of my other ones, use a standard like a radio controlled servo. And these ones don't. These use these actuators that are kind of connected by CAN bus protocol, which is much faster than the PWM that you use on a standard servo. It's got an NVIDIA Jetson Nano Dev kit that runs down here, so it's all machine learning and AI and all this funky stuff to try and get it to balance and so forth. So long way to go.
It's cool. It's a great project to undertake. Not many people would undertake.
No.
Yeah, there's groups of people that seem to kind of get interested in these things. You just join into the group, and someone will have some expertise somewhere, and you let them tackle those problems, and the ones that you can do, you tackle those ones, and hopefully combined you can come up with a solution.
Oh, that's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds like you've made some amazing projects right there,
and friends out of it too.
Yeah, it's probably the thing is the friend part, because you do meet a lot of different people. Like a lot of the time, it's just chatting with them, but and often that then becomes meeting. So as I mentioned, John and I have caught up several times now since it was originally at the Creality Share Fest that we met, and we've met since then. There's other builders in New Zealand as well, from like the New Zealand Droid Builders group as well. That's a Facebook group. There's a few other people which I haven't had a chance to yet meet, but would quite happily catch up with. And then even globally as well, other people around the world. So if you get the chance to go overseas and so forth, meeting up with some of those has been really cool.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Oh, one day.
Even at Star Wars, just like you were saying about the what are they called? The Imagineers.
Imagineers. Yeah.
That would be cool to see behind the scenes as well.
Yep. Yeah. It is. So it's the kind of thing I've managed to become friends with a few of those in over the recent years. So you do get to see a few extra things behind the scenes that you wouldn't normally see.
No.
Yeah, it's cool how as an example is your BDX droid there. It's quite cool to see it taking shape. Well, to me, it's kind of the coolest part is that guy. And that like we put the legs on there, we put the machines in here. Now it's doing this, and we haven't got quite that part done, but we're gonna get that part done. That's kind of
it's part of the process, right?
Yeah, look, I always try and give myself a little goal each time that I'm building it, so you get a reward at the end. So if I'm building a thing, like I'll try and complete like the head or an arm or something that I want to do, or a piece of code, so that you continuously having this reward scheme of like, I'm doing it and I'm succeeding, and even though it's going to take me like 6 months or so to complete it, it feels like you've got these like minor or even major achievements all the way through. And each one of those often is something unique that you can share with other people, and then you kind of get the gratification of others being able to like leverage your own thing. I've had one that the Eve that I built that you guys would have seen at the Creality Share Fest. There's two girls currently in Argentina at a school that are currently trying to build one of those, and they've been messaging on Facebook with questions around how it works. And that is so cool to see like other people kind of using your own stuff. That buzzes me out more than anything else. It's pretty cool when you see that happen.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And what about like in real life? I know John, he's on the live stream at the moment, but and being on the show for the other people that are just joining. But where can they see some of their creations? Do you go like with John to say Armageddon Comic Con, those sorts of things?
I've not so far. So other than the Creality Share Fest was the first time any of them ever came out. They've only ever been at home.
Nice, good timing on our
I
part.
am planning to go out to. There's a retro fest coming up in November. So that's probably the first time that they will actually go out to a proper con that people could kind of see en masse. So we're trying to get things ready and working back so they're ready to go for that.
What do you think? What would you like to take? What do you think? All go.
The challenges they're really hard to transport. Like they're not designed for moving.
Wally, John Wally.
I've been pushing it for November. Yeah, it'd be super cool to get. I think Wally would be so loved by people if we could get one of the Wallies. It might be John's rather than mine. If we could get one of the Wallies by then, that would be super awesome. BB-8's not so bad to transport because you can chuck them in the car next year, slap a blanket and stuff and a belt around it, and you're good as gold. Can't really leave the head on because it'll fall off. You slam on the brake. So unfortunately, people don't get to kind of figure out what it is. C3PO is just too much of a mission.
It would be hilarious if BB-8 or C-3PO or any of you the front seat. I just imagine on the passenger seat and going down the motorway. That'd be hilarious.
Yep. Especially if you could get someone to control the head so his head's turning while you're sitting in the seat. That would be super cool. But yeah, the one I'd love to get out to a con just because it's designed for things would be DJ Rex. Like, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know him or aren't aware of him, but just the size of him and when he's moving and with the sound, it'd be great for that type of event. He can sit in the background and bop away and play his music kind of thing while the rest of the stuff kind of going on. And then if I could get C3PO would be the one. I think that's the one that would be the showpiece that people would want to see.
Yeah.
Oh, any of them.
I think even with BDX, I think or the DJ guy, I think just there, I think that the audience, the crowd would notice pretty quick. Yeah. Like you wouldn't be able to ignore it.
Yeah.
And John says you need to get a new car, a bigger car there, Mike.
Yeah.
Like a truck.
Yep. Yeah. A van would probably be right. I think you're right, Craig. Yeah, something like a van or like a mini truck would be sweet. Or even maybe a trailer. I think maybe a trailer could be the way to go. And then get myself a tow bar. And then I could put them in there like a horse float.
Yeah.
I guess the option that we used to do with our mate when we didn't have a trailer was we just hide it for that so many hours that you needed it.
Oh, right, yeah.
It didn't actually wasn't too. It was quite inexpensive in the end. I don't know if the price has changed now, but I think from memory.
Oh, yeah, if you didn't have one.
You didn't have one.
Oh, yeah, that's an idea. Because I imagine that the DJ would be quite large to move around.
Yeah.
He is. Like it's not that bad to move, because all of this desk area here is made out of insulating foam, so it's incredibly light.
Cool.
So it's basically what you chuck into your walls and so forth, spray painted, very, very light, kind of like that stuff.
Right.
And then just the frame, and then with some fiberglass reinforcing. So that whole lot could easily come out. You just need space for it. And then Rex itself, he just needs some supports for his arms, because it just won't take the. I guess if you're driving along on a road, you hit a few bumps, go around corners. It's not been built and designed to support that kind of weight and movement. So might have to build some kind of frame or skeleton around it using some PVC pipes to kind of hold the arms in place, and maybe some pull noodles and foam and stuff to wrap around it to hold it in place.
Craig agrees with you. Droid transport is a bit more awkward with the size and support during travel. Absolutely.
Yep. People just come to my house instead. It's easier. I don't have to move it.
Oh, on YouTube.
I'll build my own park.
Yeah,
make your own park.
Mike's park. Yeah,
Mike's park.
I'll get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the other question I had was, do you take commissions for like an artist? They take commissions for pieces. Is that something that you do or would think about in the future doing?
I haven't done so far. I guess the challenge would be with many of the items I'm doing. They're all like IP for Star Wars, Lucasfilms, Just Reluctant Mad. They're all kind of Disney IP, so you can't sell them. Otherwise, they send lawyers after you that want to sue you into oblivion. So anything which you're like custom building, like if it was more around the prop side of things and building like things for a play or whatever, absolutely that would be no problem. But a lot of the Disney stuff, at best, you can sell it for your cost. So you would sell it for the cost of the materials that you made it from, not your labor. You can't sell the labor component for it. So when you see those lots of devices around, you will hardly ever see anyone try and sell them. Partly because it's a labor of love, and they would have spent so much time. That's a little bit of it, and part of it is because of the fact that you really shouldn't, or you run the risk of someone coming after you at some point.
That's good advice.
I've built some stuff for friends, but I've not done commission so far.
Fair enough. I was just thinking that maybe someone might be watching and go, "Oh, you like your craftsmanship or something." Maybe they could get something made, even if it's a custom piece, completely original.
Absolutely, be keen.
No.
Well, there you go.
Reach out.
Nice. And so you just touched on, for those people out there that might want to know what kind of programs you're running for your robotics, not animatronics, but robotics side, to run some of the droids that you have there. Maybe could you tell the people out there what kind of programs that you are running?
Sure. Like most of the stuff is code that I've built myself or written myself. Not a lot of stuff I've pre-used. Pretty much all of them will run either an Arduino Nano or an ESP32, depending on the requirements of it. So things like I mentioned C3PO, he's running on 5 ESP32s. It's basically using programmed in C++. Nice. Arduino as well. Those are probably the predominant one. The C3PO, the original code for the movements I did in a program called Botango. And Botango is actually a pretty good one because you can build the 3D model of the droid that you're trying to create, and then you can superimpose in the background like a video clip of someone or something that's completing the movements that you want to match. And then you can go frame by frame trying to match the arm movements to the character that you're trying to do, and then it will create that nice smooth movement of it. So that enables you to kind of get the basically a matched version of the animation along with like some reference video clip that you've got. And then you can export that out. You can chuck that onto your SP32. But that's an easier way of making things a whole lot smoother. DJ Rex and things like that, it uses a thing called a Pololo Maestro. And these are little boards that you can connect to an Arduino. And on the board, you can set the minimum and maximum servo movements. You can set acceleration and also the speed of it. So typically with a servo, it'll basically go your 90 degrees or 180 degrees, unless you've got like a stick control, in which case you might be able to make it a little bit more controlled in terms of how quickly. Whereas with the Maestro, you can go, I don't want it to go from point A to point B as fast as it can. I want it to accelerate to it so it looks more natural and smooth. And then you can offload that aspect of it to the Maestro, and then you can do the rest of your coding on it on the Arduino. So it just kind of frees up the Arduino to do other things rather than running out of resource.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. I was kind of thinking, you were talking about the I can't remember what the first one was, but it was basically you were talking about keyframing, weren't you? Like his movement, right?
Yes,
so like,
the Tango. Yep.
Yeah, it's quite
just like
cool.
keyframes.
It's a bit like what we do with movie editing. Sometimes we'll do keyframing to
or animation. Basic animation.
Yeah, basic animation. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly like that. So when you're trying to get something to stay in frame and you're using those keyframes, that's exactly what it is.
Nice.
And then it generates that into effectively your PWM code for your servo movements, and that will be somewhere probably between your 800 to 2200, and somewhere in there is basically where you'll get it to move, and the speed obviously that it moves as well.
Okay.
Main one's to try and get it not to look jerky. That's the bit. C3PO is not quite so bad because he is supposed to look a bit robotic with his movements. But yeah, you don't want sudden harsh movements.
No.
Yeah. Well, most of the characters are they're sort of based on sort of like a living thing, right? Or at least to imitate them.
Yeah.
I had another one. Sorry?
Oh, sorry. You were saying something?
I was going to show you another little one. So this is more in the prop land. So here's some of the smaller ones ahead. So there's Mini Wally. He is fully controllable. He's got his own little web page that I can connect to and make his tracks move and his arms move and his head move. That one's called Mo, and then that's Eve that you may have seen in the past. But the thing that kind of got me started was like some of these things like Ghostbuster props. So
the ghost. That's cool, eh?
Including the smoke.
Wow. That's right.
So that's done using a couple of vapes and a little aquarium pump. So the pump basically sucks the air from the vape and then blows it up into the top part of it with a couple of LEDs on top.
That's interesting.
I was just about to ask the same question
because sometimes in our world people do what they call like smoke on, like the air race. They have they have to have smoke behind their trails. So some people do that in the sort of the RC world, and they have smoke machines on the back of their aircrafts, or sometimes people do on their cars and things like that. But yeah, what they do is they have a glow plug, and that heats up the oil, and that produces the smoke. But I think it runs on a very specific system.
Yeah.
It's something that we want to do to add effect.
But yeah, interesting idea using the vapes. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's just it was a quick and easy way, because I was looking at, you can get prop ones that I could see overseas, but they were like $200. and find a little thing, and it's like, well, I can do something cheaper than that. And it's like the moment that you can get these disposable vape things, these aren't disposable ones. I can like refill them. I'm not a smoker or a vapor or anything like that, but it was just like, it's a quick and easy way to do it. I'm just using the fog fluid that I had from a smoke machine that I had anyway, so I'm using that instead of whatever the glycol or whatever the thing that they're supposed to use in a vape. Just works fine.
No, it clearly worked great, especially with the lighting, with the amber light tone and everything. That LEDs.
Yeah.
What was the character beside Eve? I didn't quite spot that one. Was that from the same universe?
No.
Same universe. So it's called Mo. So Mo's from Wally as well, and he goes around. He's got like a little brush on the front of it, and he runs around and he cleans up the dirt off the ground. So his job is to keep the ground clean. So if you leave footprints behind, he'll run after you and he'll just mop that up.
Nice. Yeah, and you've made all those. It's pretty cool. And did you do those like Eve and whatnot with like resin or?
No, Eve. In fact, all of those are done in 3D. It's a standard FTM printing. So Eve's the only part of Eve that's resin is the visor over the front, and that was because there's effectively two LCD panels that go behind the visor. I needed something that was both tinted but still transparent, so that you could still see the little LCD screens. And I tried doing like a piece of perspex that was kind of shaped. I kind of heated it up and shaped it to it. That didn't work. I then thought, okay, I could grab like a piece of cut off plastic from some packaging that I had, shape it to the right shape again. So I kind of heat it up and bend it to shape. And then I thought I could use like window tinting material on it, like just the cover. Again, that didn't work because of the fact that there's quite a reasonable curvature across it. I couldn't get it to curve even with a heat gun. It just doesn't like that amount of movement. You need something more like a vinyl wrap on a car or something where it really can handle stretching, whereas tint material is not really designed for much of curvature. You can get a little bit of shrinkage with a heat gun, but not too much. And then in the end, I used a clear resin and then mixed in a few drops of black resin, and then just mixed it up, and that seemed to be enough to at least tint it to enough that you could still see it. That worked.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, it looks good.
And very inventive.
Yeah, very good. That's kind of that's kind of like the cool thing about making your own stuff is like I've got a problem. Don't know how to do it. I'll try this idea.
Oh, that didn't work.
Try this idea. Maybe this will do it.
Oh,
is that the same thing for you?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Exactly the same. Yeah. You just keep trying stuff. But that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Problem solving. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the people maybe they might want to know what other projects that Mike might be coming up, or are they all secret? Maybe. Yeah.
No secrets. The two main ones, Wally's definitely the key one. Yeah. I love Wally. He's such a cool character. That one's definitely the one that's on the fly. And then hopefully after that I'll get into R2 and finish off R2. Beyond that, I don't know. Like a lot of the time, it's when I've gone back to one of the parks. I'll get some inspiration from there.
Yeah.
On something that's been built, or maybe even a new TV series that's come out and there's a new character that's rolled out that I kind of go, ooh, I like that. I'd like to build one of those, and gives me enough enthusiasm to kind of do it. But it keeps me out of trouble, so the missus doesn't mind.
Happy wife life, they say.
Yep, absolutely. But what I was going to show you, that the BDX droid that I was showing you before talked about the different servos and motors. To give you, the walking one, to give you a gauge of kind of the difference between it. So that's like your little M90 small mic servo. That's kind of like your standard servo size.
Yeah.
And then that's the actuators that go into the BDX droids, and there's 11 of those, and they're solid metal and heavy. But they have a heck of a lot of torque.
Are they
Very-
similar to what a stepper motor would be on, say, a 3D printer, or different again?
It's a little bit similar to that. It is different again to a stepper motor. It's a lot more torque. It's similar in the sense that it does have positioning. You can control it with very, very fine detail. But they're designed so that you can either screw and fix mount here and the whole body turns, or the outside turns and the center turns.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, it's just lots of grunt is probably the thing. If you've got something that needs to be moved fast and needs kind of 12 to 20 Newton meters worth of torque type thing, which is a reasonable amount, certainly for a servo, then you're starting to get into these. But it's like $1, $4, 150 to 300 to 500, depending on how much you guys, and then it becomes I can't afford to do too much. So it does become cost prohibitive the bigger you go. And then you get ones like that. That's a different kind again. That's still like a servo, but it has like a DC motor and then a reduction gearbox, and that's like 380 kilograms worth of torque. So it's designed to move something fairly beefy. In this case, it's actually going to use for both the neck of Wally and also the arms, because there's quite a bit of weight.
Oh, there would be, wouldn't there? The head would
Yep.
weigh quite.
What sort of voltage do they take? Were they like 5 volts at the servos or more?
So like the one for the BDX droid, that black one I showed you before, that's 24 volts for that one. The one for Wally is 12 to 24 volts. And then the others are like the little mini ones are 5 volts, and the others are anywhere between kind of 5. Some of the more expensive ones are up to about 8.4 type volts. But yeah, there's the hard thing is trying to work out the right servo for the application, and it sometimes requires a bit of math to kind of figure out by the time you put in like joints and different servo horns or whatever it else might be, and the level of torque you're going to need. So even like with Wally's head, there's 2 eye sections that kind of move like that. There's again 2 servos in it. The first time I put in 2 cheap ones in it, and it didn't have enough strength to be able to lift the eyes up smoothly at all. So you then have to kind of find something that's kind of the next step up. You don't want to go too far, because then the price of it kind of goes skyrocketing up, and you also don't want something that's so massive that now you have this weight in there that means the next servo down the line can't handle it, because it's now got to lift an extra half a kilo than what it needed. So it's a continual kind of working out what's the sweet spot of price versus servo strength.
Yeah.
No, I guess we battle that quite a bit, actually.
You would be, right? You must be.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
I was going to say, so for your own drone that you guys had, have you guys figured out how much you think it can lift?
Yeah, you were pretty sure.
Calculations. Yeah, it's reverse in the drone world. You have to do something of the size, not necessarily for like a small one or something like that, but for in the big, like what we're doing with the world's largest 3D printed drone, and soon going to be the world's only Creality high flying drone. With that particular one, you do all your calculations up front and give a little. So in the calculation, plus or minus an uncertainty of like 20 kgs kind of uncertainty right there. So yeah, you kind of go allow for it, because it's untested material at this out, and then that's an interesting one. You have to do all your calculations up front and say what's the whole value for him?
He's around some 15.
Yeah, it's about a 15 kind of thing. But yeah, you have to have that tolerance just in case. So it's an interesting one. Yeah.
It's definitely, and then everything kind of adds up as well, because you've gone bigger motor, bigger prop, more batteries. Batteries get heavy too. By the time you add all those batteries on and electronics, I know you guys you printed it in was it carbon fiber? What have you?
BB-8.
How was that for printing? Any problems with printing there?
Yeah, so it's an interesting challenge.
Super difficult.
Super difficult. You have to put it in a dryer that at least goes up to 85 or 80?
85, yeah.
85 degrees Celsius, and you're gonna have it for what, 5 hours or something like that? Overnight, I guess. And then while it's going, keep it at that sustained temperature. We ran that one on the K2 Plus, and then you have to do some modifications to the K2 Plus as well. And it runs in the side event. Yeah.
So the build plate on that one was 350 by 350, and we did 350 by 350.
But it suggests wise that you can only print at the carbon at 300 by 300. So we definitely over, because we need the max we can get, right? So you're pushing the machine past what it's designed to do, which is what we have to get the job done. So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one for sure. And yeah, we pretty a lot of late nights and a lot of days spent just glued watching the machine print.
Yeah.
Right, Richard?
Absolutely, yeah. Just like I'm sure you've done it on many of your builds, like you're talking about with C3PO and stuff.
Yeah,
just bringing the 3D prints off, and that's not the structure stuff. That's just the just head.
Yeah.
Just and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Did you print C3PO's head in one piece, or is it multiple pieces and then you put them together?
So C3PO's head's in two pieces. So the actual files for C3PO are designed to be worn. So they're designed to be someone that, so if you wanted to be wears a costume, they're designed to fit over a human body. So everything like the head's actually two pieces, one on the front, one on the rear, and then there's two circular greebles that kind of with a screw in it that hold it together on the side, and there's another piece at the top that holds the front part, and then there's a greeble out the top. So yeah, it's two parts. Yeah, I think that the one I find like I kind of had to get used to prints are going to fail because they do. It hurts when you've been printing for 3 days solid and then it fails at the last kind of 3 or 4 hours of the print, and you've probably thrown away at least a roll, if not more than a roll of filament. And it does pay to get everything as tuned as possible in terms of your Z height, your bead leveling, and doing all of those kind of things. If you get that, and as painful as it can be, and a lot of the new printers are really, really good at doing that for you, but the older school printers, you really want to put in the effort to get that sorted. And if you do, then your chances of a failure is a whole lot less. But yeah, you do cry when you've been printing for like 2 days, and then you find out that it's failed, and you've got this spaghetti mess that you wake up in the morning to see, or you come home from work or wherever it is, and there's this disaster.
I do find because we started our journey with 3D printing back with the Ender 3 Pro, I think.
Oh yes,
we still haven't for the TPU kind of
TPU stuff now.
He's quite good at that. Yep. So obviously he didn't have all the fancy things like auto leveling. It's just a piece of paper under the nozzle. And then as time goes on, now you're into like the world of like the K2 Plus or the and then you've got like web cameras and auto leveling, so you can sort of monitor it from afar or pause it or cancel. So it's quite handy. I'm sure other companies out there like Bamboo Labs and stuff, I'm sure they have all similar features.
Yeah. Have you ever had to do that run home? Because sorry boss, I'm off. I gotta go too much.
No, not so far. Pretty much it just carries on. I've got it somewhere where it's reasonably safe if it fails, but I've had a few bad ones where I've come home and where the hot end is, there's just a mass of like plastic that's melted all around it, and invariably around all the thermistor and the heating element and all the wires and stuff. And then it's getting the heat gun and sitting there and then carefully trying to pick this thing off so you don't destroy all the cabling on the way through. Sometimes it's just easy to throw away, buy a whole new hot end and start from scratch. But yeah, I've got to a point, especially with stuff out of AliExpress and so forth over in China, because it usually takes a few weeks to get here. I'll always buy spares of everything. So if I want one, I'll probably end up buying 3 or 4. So I always have like a collection of hot ends. I've got all of the nozzles. There's just lots of little bits, because there's nothing more frustrating than being right in the midway in a big print. It fails, and then you need to replace something, and now you have to wait 2 weeks or something for it to come overseas, or if you're lucky enough to actually find it locally. So my Neptune 3 is getting a bit old, so it's a bit harder to find from the local shops if I need spare parts. So I generally end up having to going offshore for those.
And we've got a question here from a totally Inox studio. Yeah, thanks for being the show. And he asked, do you do any welding on your work?
Oh, that's a good question. If you do metal work,
Not yet. Not yet. Want to. Haven't yet pulled the trigger on buying a welder yet, but I plan to. I have aspirations. I started looking the other weekend. I was in fact about to go out and buy one, but I didn't. But not yet. But yes, I do want to. Closest would be soldering. Really good at soldering, so I'm hoping that flows through to welding.
No, I guess you could do brazing as well. That's pretty similar.
Brazing is quite useful. What does Craig say? What does Craig say?
What would you do? What were you sort of looking towards? Were you sort of aiming towards the sort of TIG welding type stuff, or was it more sort of fine art type stuff? Would you be
in most cases, the stuff that I'll be doing doesn't have to necessarily be pretty. So it's usually just putting two metal parts together, and then it's still going to have like a case or a cover over the top, and I just need it for strength, and it's just trying to tie them together. So frankly, I'll probably end up going like a gasless MIG or something like that, just so I don't have to pay for acetylene torch bottles and argon and CO2 and stuff like that. So it's probably that more so than stick welding. I'd love to get into TIG, but it's just that would probably be one of those ones over time. So I'll try and get something that's rated enough to be able to do TIG welding at some stage.
Yeah. Well, me and Harry once were qualified in ARC and MIG, and we did sort of quite extensive into TIG as well.
Overhead and stuff.
Overhead type welding and stuff like that. They call
we didn't get into pipe.
4711 type of stuff. We don't do it so much now because we don't have welders in this particular workshop as of yet. But
it is one of those things where you get to a point and you're like, oh, well, a bolt's not going to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's always one of those things back in your mind, like, how am I going to do that without doing the weld?
Yeah. Well, so we're going to have to update the shop at some point.
Yeah,
because you have to put a 5-phase fuse into your house, I think, or garage, or whatever it is. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that I've got two welders with expertise that can show me what to do.
Yeah, that's it. To upgrade your the outlet. You have to go in New Zealand. It might be different in another country, but you have to give it a boost and kicker because it
just for safety margins.
In New Zealand when you're doing welding and this sort of stuff.
And what else we got? We got some questions here. He's totally Inox says he'd love to help you.
Oh, there you go,
George.
Nice.
In Canberra. And what does John say? I can't read that.
He said, we need a welder for Wally.
All right, cool.
We do. There is I was looking at, there's a makerspace in Auckland somewhere. I saw it the other day. And that seemed to have a whole bunch of things, everything from 3D printers, welders, lathes, and CNC stuff that was there. That might actually be something I might check out to kind of hone the skill before investing large amounts of money.
Yeah. It's welding is kind of one of those things where it's kind of an art project where you when we used to do it, you have to slow your heart rate down, get the breathing under control, and just you
don't want any shakes.
You don't want the shakes, and it's just one of those things where you slow the heart rate down, breathing, and then you get into it. It's kind of a reversed way. It's kind of therapeutic in some way,
but awesome in others.
There you go. What have we got? Can you read that?
Craig says, when I come up to Auckland, you could always do some electrical work to upgrade your amperage to the outlets. Oh, there you go. What an invite.
Sweet. You're on, Craig.
George says he's welding right now on the barbecue grill.
Nice.
Nice.
No, yeah, it's always one of those things that like tools or anything like that. It's, one of those things. Yeah, there's always something like the new tool out. Well, it's not a new tool, but you know, like to the workshop, as it were. It's
always a big deal.
Yeah, like you're saying about the carbon fiber or like new parts coming, like you're saying. Always the house. You're like, oh, what do I get?
How do I use this?
How do I use this? What does this do? It's kind of cool.
I'm always finding I shouldn't say buying because the wife will start listening, but buying new tools and toys and stuff for it. I just heard a noise from the lounge. I think she's watching. One of the things is I've been playing with different things alongside resin. Also played around with like modeling and things like with latex, so building molds and things like that, and resin, not from resin printing, but like the actually creating things with the 2-part resin, mixing it and then putting it into casting it into a different shape. And there's a couple of things I've ended up having to buy there, so things like a vacuum vessel and also pressure pots as well. So I guess as you kind of go into the making and building thing, you end up increasing your stuff that you have and all the tools that are around. I need a workshop. I really, really need a big workshop somewhere. I need a big space. Cars need to go out of the garage, and that needs to be taken over. And I want a CNC machine. I want a welder. I want a lathe. That would be so cool. I need another job.
But the cool thing about all those things that you're talking about is you can do it yourself. And you can do it all yourself. And there is resources out there for all those things to learn, including the welding, all the CNC work, and also with all those things or programming or C++ that you're talking about before.
Yep.
And they range in sizes, so you can get the gazillion dollar job, which takes up 3 houses, or you can just get the little guy, and he still does an awesome job at his scale. So there's different
things out there,
different options. You don't have to get the $1 billion CNC machine.
No, it's true.
We have the little I think it's a 38 Prover, which is CNC machine,
and he just cuts carbon.
He just does carbon fiber. That's how we print out things like drone frames and whatnot.
Yeah, you cut them up. But but it's like anything. It's like you probably do the same thing you're saying before. Is that you do a test print on the 3D printer? Well, that's what we use at the moment, quite a bit. And then you only get the one cut, right?
On the CNC machine, the one shot.
Yeah, one shot. You don't want to make a mistake when that's going.
No.
Keep your hands off.
Yeah,
and it's trying to get those tolerances just right, and it's super helpful for that, to be able to do a test print on that, work out that it's okay before going go get this fabricated.
Yeah.
We've got a question here from I think it's George from Totally at Knox Studio. He says, do you make any props for like rockets or spaceships or that kind of thing?
No, not so far.
No.
That'd be cool.
I have been interested in the rockets. Like I saw you guys with your rockets and so forth, and certainly seen a few YouTube clips of those pretty massive ones. I probably need to live in another area or closer to somewhere where I could launch one of those. That would be quite fun, and I'd like to. Sorry, what was that? Yeah.
Nobody minds up here. It's all good.
Yeah, we have sort of a she'll be right attitude around here.
Yeah.
That would work, because I'd love to play around a little bit with carbon fiber and build out something in carbon fiber one time, and it looks like a good project, but big, and maybe even no, I won't go that far because that'll probably get me in trouble with YouTube. But there are ways of making the rocket material, the rocket propellant stuff for it. So because I know that the motors that you can buy are pretty limiting what you can do in terms of what you can buy from the hobby shops.
Yeah, it's a splash mix is what you call it.
Right.
Yeah.
A slurry. Sorry, slurry's the right word.
Slurry's the right word.
Yep.
And like we make our drones. Yeah, that's all custom and one-off pieces, isn't it?
Yeah.
When people make those sorts of things. But no, it's cool. Is there any other questions to mix it up a bit? Is there any questions you want to ask us that you've been wanting to ask there, just to give you a little bit of a break there, Mike?
Probably one. So obviously, as twins and brothers and so forth, who leads on what?
What?
Who leads, like, when you're making and creating something, like who takes like creative control, or like, do each of you have your own specialty in terms of who does what?
No, are we talking about like playing music? Like I play the drums, Richard plays the
Doesn't
bass
matter.
guitar.
Yeah, whether it be music or building or whatever it is, because obviously you do a lot together. Like, there must be some way that you gel and you know who's going to take a lead on something.
I guess so. Do you want to handle this, Ed? It's just one of those things where I guess it's like any relationship, I suppose, a wife or a girlfriend or anything like that. There's a bit of give and take.
I'm not your wife.
No. I'm just saying it's like a relationship with a dog. It's he's your mate. Sometimes he's not. It's that sort of thing. So yeah. So I guess that's my answer. How would you answer?
I'd answer with sometimes so for example, Harry's got a design idea that he's running or something
Keen on.
Like, at the moment we've got probably like sort of 10 projects that we're working on in various stages.
Or some right back to concept.
Some back to concept. So say for example the design phase, say Harry can take the lead on that because that's his one. So you might walk past while you're doing some other project, like say video editing the next episode or something. You add a couple of things, but you just mainly leave him to that part for the design phase. And then as soon as it starts to come, into like more into sort of making it real, then I'll jump in and sort of have more of an input. But at that stage, there's no real point because he's more than capable of doing that part, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would just slide down.
Yeah. Got to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah. So where do you guys get your inspiration for your ideas that you come up with?
Films, I'd say.
Yeah.
Which brings me to another point. What would you say is your favorite film?
Most of them would be. I don't have one favorite, but I have an era, which is like pretty much the 80s and 90s, and they are things like Gremlins, Ghostbusters, some of those old kind of classics. For some reason, those are the things that I probably like the most. Back to the Future, there just seemed to be an era of movies that were pretty cool. Obviously that was where my childhood was growing up around. I'm an old fart. So yeah, I kind of surround myself by memories of what felt good back then, and that's still what I like now.
Hey, still good. We were actually, oddly enough, watching Ghostbusters, the first one, this morning actually, and you saw. Yeah, true story. And you're watching it, and you're going like, you can see why it's standing the test of time. It's not necessarily the plot and all that sort of dialogue and all that stuff. Of course, it is good, but exceptional. But of course, it all just comes down to the people. I mean, yes, they are actors, but they're also cool dudes or girls or whatever. That's people. They're just naturally cool, and
the characters are great. So yeah,
it's pretty easy. You can see why they would last the test of time, right?
What's your favorite music band? Says Totally like you. What would your favorite music band be?
Me, I'm into EDM music, which is probably not the same genre as most of you guys. So I'm into like your Dylan Francis and Nightmare and things like that. So, but I have a real wide range of things I'll listen to. What about yourselves? What are you guys into? You must be rock or something.
Our big band that we listen to a lot of, and probably know the songs from is Muse. Is our favorite band of all time.
Oh, cool.
Concert in real life, but that's our big one.
But yeah, lots of different genres.
30 Seconds to Mars, and I guess it comes through in our editing style and music and stuff in the background.
Yeah, because we also write well.
But yeah, we keep quite busy. But it's do you do like what we do is like if you're working on a project and you punch the music for a particular project, like that track has to go with like when you're working on it. Is that the kind of like you have that music for that vibe of that project? Is that how you work?
I'm a mix. I'll always have music playing in the background. I do kind of get quite OCD about some stuff. So if I like a song, I will loop that song and listen to that song for like 8 hours solid. and I could have that cranked on headphones or something like that.
No,
I won't lie. But yeah, I'll always have music playing in the background, something that kind of keeps you pumped, keeps you moving.
yeah.
Craig said his ones were Lost in Space.
Yeah, nice.
And Robbie and Johnny 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Short Circuit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely on our movie rack over there for sure. Johnny 5, yeah, sure.
That'd be cool to build him.
That'd be an interesting project.
Yeah, it's tempted me. It's not quite enough to tempt me yet, but it maybe one day, maybe a small one, not a full size one.
Although the small ones are pretty cool. They go off and do their own thing, don't they?
Yeah.
I guess you could probably run it like your BDX, like you're just kind of independent thinker.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Program. Sorry.
See a program just to let them go in those Comic Cons that you're going to.
Just give him a laser on his shoulder and let him shoot some people on his own. What can go wrong?
Was there any other questions, Richard? Is there any other questions from the fans out there watching? Just comment below before we
we don't want to take too much of Mike's great time. So
any other questions on the post below if you have any immediate ones? Otherwise,
if you got any last questions, Mike, you can ask us. I think we're pretty good. I mean, you covered a amazing range from everything from the detail of say BB-8 all the way to BDX and lots of stuff
coming up. So make sure that you go over to Mike's channel, and all the details will be added in the previous in the post of this video.
Yeah, we'll just change that.
Sure.
So just so everybody knows, go and check Mike out. And Mike Owen NZ or What the Prop in YouTube. Just dial it in there, and you'll pop his name up.
Craig, it's been awesome. Thanks for sharing. Oh, cheers.
And he's going to go back to his welding.
Nice.
I guess we inspired him to do more welding. There we go.
Oh yes, and totally.
He's fixing his barbecue. Thanks, George. Thanks, Craig.
Okay, so is there anything else you want to add there, Mike, before we wrap this one up?
No, look, I think I'm good. Thanks. It's been great chatting with you guys. And thanks to all that joined in the chat as well. It's been fun time.
Yeah, it's been cool. And from us, all the way from the Badlands,
New Zealand.
New Zealand. That's where we're both from, isn't it, Mike?
Yep, indeed it is.
New Zealand represent. And thanks so much for everyone tuning in, past, present, and future. If you haven't done already, make sure you check out Mike's over on his channel and give this video the old thumbs up. Yeah, that's everything. I'm Harry. This is Mike Owen.
And I'm Richard. We'll sign out. Okay, we'll just sign out in the traditional fashion here on the Actuators Racing Show. To thank all our sponsors, thank Mike Owen, most importantly of all, to making this day that much better by bringing his expertise, skills, and droids, most importantly all, to the table.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, all.
Okay, and 3, 2, 1, go! Actuator Racing, Actuator Racing, Actuator Racing. Yeah. There you go, dudes. See you guys. See you next time.